Hi, I'm Merrick D'Amato,
And I'm Classic Gamer.
and welcome back to Let's Play Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse.
Yes, indeed.
The pissoir was decorative and unpleasant.
Yeah, that's because you never needed one, Nico.
It was an office. The room was full of strange trinkets.
I know we have to get Moue somehow to go to the
The body
pissoir.
was
I know
still
that's what we
there.
have,
I
we have to
had
try
to
and
get
do.
back
I
inside.
remember doing that. But I don't remember
Sergeant
how you do
Moue
it.
was blocking the entrance to the
I
gallery.
think it's something to do with like
Moue
making
was the
water
kind of
go or
boss
something
that
like
took
that.
places through obedience, not intelligence.
So he's now a sergeant again after he was Inspector Moue.
I wonder what he did wrong.
I don't know.
Ronnie, I'm at the exhibition over in Montmartre. You won't believe the scoop I've got.
You're kidding me. That place is a dump. What could possibly have happened to make it exciting?
A painting's been stolen and the gallery owner's been shot.
What? Okay, speak to anybody who saw what happened. Scope out the place. And call me as soon as you get a story. If you're quick, we can make the evening edition. Bye, Nicole.
This could be the scoop I'd been waiting years for. Sergeant Moue, we meet again.
Aha, Madame Collard. An unexpected pleasure.
I was in the gallery at the time of the theft. Can I get back in?
I am sorry, but I am under strict orders from Inspector Navet. Nobody in, nobody out. And I must correct you, madame. It is no longer just a theft. It is a murder.
Mon Dieu! That poor man! I witnessed the crime. I've got to get back in there.
I'm sure you can make an official statement in good time.
I saw the thief. I think I can help the investigation.
I am implacable, Madame Collard.
Who is Inspector Navet?
The most promising young investigator on the force.
That doesn't say
A
much for the
genius,
Force's
a
prospects.
man blessed with almost superhuman insight.
Ah, he has game facts.
He
Gotcha.
sounds highly perspicacious.
Madame, it is not for us to talk about the inspector's sweaty proclivities. He is about to solve his third case in as many days.
So, what's he got that the other investigators don't have?
Blood spatter. He is the world expert. He reads the entrails of the crime scene like a book.
He kind of looks like he's related to the hotel manager of Ubu.
Yeah, he does actually. He kind of looks like the same kind of character model's face, but just without the
He is not to be disturbed. He is
hamp look.
applying his famous scientific methods. Any moment now, the case will be cracked. I certainly hope so. I am dog-tired and want to go home.
I chased after the shooter and got a photo of him.
Inspector Navet will be delighted.
You've got to let me into the gallery to show him.
Absolutely not.
So, I cannot go in without Inspector Navet's permission?
No.
And to get Inspector Navet's permission, I need to go in.
Exactement.
Have you ever heard of Kafka, Sergeant Moue?
Madame Collard, I do not see what soccer players have to do with this.
Hey,
No,
football.
he's a... Never mind. This was madness. Sergeant Moue wasn't
They
going to
don't
let me
call
in.
it soccer in France.
The people who made this game are British. They should know this.
Why are
Yes.
you so tired, Sergeant Moue?
I'm very disappointed.
I have
Revolution
been
Software.
working
You
for
should
3
know better.
days with no rest. Navet is a genius in his field, and he assumes that we all have his energy.
Maybe it's to do with appealing to
Oh, you poor
the American
man.
market, but still,
If you'd
it's
like to go
football,
and
not
get some
soccer.
sleep, I will watch the door for you.
That's very thoughtful of you.
Because we kick it with the foot.
Ha! A cunning attempt to make me a deserter, madame. A gendarme never leaves his post.
Well, how about a hot drink?
Ah, that would do the trick for sure. Unfortunately, I mustn't drink on duty. My doctor specifically warned me against it after the last incident.
That incident you mentioned, what happened exactly?
I don't want to talk about it. All I can say is it was very unfortunate. I am on duty.
You wet
and I
yourself,
need to
didn't you?
focus.
Here's my press card. Do you have a statement for the paper?
Yes, madam. Stay away from the crime scene and let the police do their job. And always leave a light on when you go out at night.
And don't cross the street until the little man turns
And
green.
turns green. Great advice.
An intricate stained glass window, irresistible to any tourist.
Madame,
Bonjour, monsieur.
whatever it is you want, we are closed.
Then why are you standing here?
You would not understand, madame.
Try me.
Because I look at you and I know you are like all the others.
The others?
The pretty women who shop, who gossip, who have their spa days, their almond croissant.
That bad, huh?
What's wrong with almond
And
croissant?
men with their grooming products and their shiny shoes and their skinny suits who come to my cafe and ask me for lattes, macchiatos, frappes.
I see your point.
Is this what we fought on the barricades for, madame? Ripped up the paving slabs, bled on the streets.
Isn't it?
No, madame, it is not. We fought for ideas, for philosophy, for freedom, equality, fraternity.
Vive la révolution.
And ended up killing an unimaginable number of people with a
What
guillotine.
fueled the streets of Paris in that glorious spring? What made our hearts soar?
Absinthe?
Including the king and his wife.
No, madame, no.
They killed more than just the king and his wife.
I know.
They killed
Yeah, but
so like
And
they
also,
deserved it.
the
Those two
inventor
deserved
of
it.
the inventor of the guillotine also
By
made
the
his
guillotine.
fate the same invention he invented.
I serve only thinkers, philosophers, revolutionaries. And you, madame, with your polite top and your pointy heels, are none of those things.
This is a cafe.
Yes, to the right people.
On any other day, I would have given this guy a straight one to the chin. But there was a chance he could help me get into the gallery. The waiter watched over his tables with barely disguised contempt.
I'm not surprised there are no customers here. You know how you should deal with someone like this if you meet them in the real world?
How?
He like refusing service, being all snobby. Pick up this table and put it through that window.
Look at the drinks menu because there's a little icon that came over the drinks menu. I noticed.
The Chel du
Other side.
Chef.
There you go.
The menu offered black coffee and a small selection of other drinks.
I mean, at least he's better than the last cafe waiter we met.
Yes. Who?
Monsieur,
Life is fleeting, madame. The sands of time are running through your fingers.
well, that may be, but
We know not what we want, and yet we are responsible for what we are.
there's been a crime.
That is terrible, madame. But you know what they say.
No, but I think you're going to tell me.
Life begins on the other side of despair. C'est vrai, no?
Well, I guess so. He was pushing me to the point of despair.
During the riots, we battled the forces of oppression.
Oh, really? That must have been terrifying.
It was, except that they made me stay behind the barricades with the other baristas. We made coffee by the liter to fuel the resistance. I've never brewed so much coffee.
What the fuck is he talking about?
Brave heroes spent
Oh,
half
no.
their time going for a pee But with our coffee inside them, they fought the running dogs all night long.
None of this was helping me get past Sergeant Moue.
Au revoir.
Here's my press card.
La liberté. Madame, you are not the person that I took you to be. You must accept my deepest, my most profound apologies.
I didn't think that would
Well,
work.
of course I accept.
All right, cool.
I forgot it was the way you do it. Actually.
The great journal of freedom. At the height of the battle, as the tear gas blew and the blood flowed, it was La Liberté which carried the voice of our revolution to the world. I know now that you are not the kind of woman who would ask me for almond croissant. You are a true daughter of France, and I am your humble servant.
Monsieur,
The road to enlightenment is a long one, madame.
Oh my god, just give me the fucking coffee.
could we have a little chat?
Anytime, madame.
Oh,
Did you see anything happen?
Finally.
Earlier?
I saw you running after a pizza delivery guy. Somebody said he killed someone.
That's true. He stole a painting and shot the gallery owner.
How close we are to death. And yet how far from ever comprehending it.
Well, right now I need to get back inside and figure out what happened.
I applaud you, madame. To seek the truth is a worthy ambition.
As a journalist, that is my duty.
Give coffee.
How about some coffee?
For you, madame, of course. There is only one coffee that I can serve you. Black, strong, and in a tiny cup. One moment.
I like 2 of those things.
Here is your coffee, madame.
Thank you, monsieur.
Alright, give me 40 of these and we might be in business.
The coffee was hot and strong.
So the exact opposite of George Stobart.
The waiter didn't need to see my press card again. Would you make me a coffee to go?
For a fellow revolutionary? Of course, madame. One moment.
I like the people passing by in the background. It makes the world feel more alive.
Thank you.
yeah,
monsieur.
same. I've been noticing that myself.
And like it has the 2D look, but the models don't just stand stock still when you're not talking to them. I quite like this so far. This is working for me.
I know the getting out of the menu. I think earlier was sort of
You just have to
Down
click
slightly.
really hard.
yeah.
Salut.
Bonjour,
I
madame.
can understand that being annoying, but I wouldn't.
I
That-
think
that-
it's because this was released on PC after the iOS releases, right?
Yeah. So I think
I
that
think
could
it's a
be one
holdover
reason.
from the iOS thing.
Yeah.
I remembered
Probably 'cause
something
it's
else
a
about the
touchscreen.
crime.
Then you should tell Inspector Navet immediately.
But I'm not allowed to.
So I can go inside then?
No.
You are really helpful, sir.
Do you want to see my photo of the thief?
Ils ne passeront pas.
You know, if
How
you're
does that mean?
tired, surely your duty.
He won't get by me.
Madame, I am a consummate professional. I would never shirk my responsibilities. I will stand here as if my life depended on it. Or my job.
That incident you mentioned, what happened exactly?
I don't want to talk about it.
That's fair enough.
All I can say is I am on duty.
He wet himself.
I know. Trying to get him to actually say it. Anyway, here's would you like this coffee?
Sergeant Moue, I brought you a coffee.
Coffee? Fantastic. Just what I need. But wait. I must not. My little problem.
There's a pissoir right over
Sure,
here.
one little cup of coffee won't hurt.
I'm tempted, madame, but I cannot risk it. I am sorry.
So, this incident, it involved you, some coffee, and your little problem?
It is a tale of woe, madame.
I'm all ears, Sergeant.
Well, since you seem quite understanding, I shall elaborate.
Please do.
I was in charge of canine security for the president himself. One day, en vacances, he went for a private discussion with a lady minister. I stayed alone with his dog, but I had drunk a coffee to stay awake, and nature came to call. So I tied the dog to a tree and went for a secret pee-pee. When I came back, the dog was having a liaison dangereuse with the lady minister's terrier.
But how did they find out?
Well, 2 months later, the president's Labrador gave birth to 6 beautiful mongrels. And I was busted to sergeant just after the president's divorce came through.
That's why he's no longer an
You are
inspector.
a victim of a great injustice, Sergeant.
You think so?
But of course, you knew you must not fall asleep at your post. You were guarding the president himself.
Well, the president's dog.
Ah, it was the same thing.
Yes, I suppose.
And by drinking that coffee, you made the ultimate sacrifice for our glorious republic. Your career.
Now you put it like that?
And now France is calling you again. She is saying, drink, Sergeant Moue, drink!
She is?
She is. Drink or fall asleep at your post. Which is it to be?
I
suppose.
And be demoted into a patrol constable.
Yep.
Bravo, Sergeant!
Now, I gotta say, that problem is not at all Moue's fault.
Excuse me, madame. I must use.
Like, if you don't want your dog to
It's
have
got straight through me.
puppies,
Could you watch the gallery?
spay your dog.
Oh, you can count on
It's
me.
your fault for not getting your dog spayed.
That's why I got my cat neutered.
Exactly.
I
Hell, I got
distrust
Sebastian neutered and he doesn't go outside.
you or never.
So. Aha! I made it.
How did you get past Sergeant Moue? Well, you won't fool me so easily, madame. I shall question you later.
Nico, am I glad to see you?
So, what's the problem?
The inspector's watching me like a hawk. I'll never get in without some sort of distraction.
I'll see what I can do. I liked it, but not enough to buy it.
Well, at these prices, who would?
Nice price tag. I liked it, but not enough to buy it. George was in pretty good shape. I hadn't seen him in a while. I'd never met the gallery owner before, but he sure didn't deserve this. Inspector Nave, I presumed. According to Moue, he was a CSI star, with a passion for blood spatter analysis.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
The bust was striking. There was a pizza box on the floor. Father Simeon sat in the chair reciting his rosary. The tomato sauce had splattered onto the floorboards. The tomato sauce had splattered on the floor.
Chewing gum.
No way was I going to clean that up with my bare hands.
Yeah, we lack the necessary equipment to do this, I think.
No, we don't. We have the item that you need.
I scraped up the chewing gum
Okay.
with my
There you go.
card, hoping the inspector wouldn't notice.
I think you might have to make the tomato stain look more like blood, maybe. That might distract him.
Well, I should talk to everyone first, I think.
At least now the place was a little tidier.
You know that's not legal to do at a crime scene, Nico, but whatever.
Nice price tag.
Cleaning up around the crime scene is something that that the mafia hires specialists to do.
The gallery was already a mess. I didn't feel like tearing the poster down. It was the first time I'd had the displeasure of meeting Lane. Excuse me, Father.
Father Simeon, my child.
Are you okay, Father?
It's a terrible shock, but yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Could I ask you some questions about the crime?
What kind of questions?
I'm a reporter for La Liberté.
I suppose it cannot hurt. Please ask away.
Why did you come to the gallery today, Father?
God brought me here. I saw the poster for the exhibition. I had to come.
What do you mean?
I knew there was great evil in La Maledictio. It was my duty to confront it. The painter was El Serp, the Serpent, don't you see?
Evil? So, what were you planning on doing here today?
I wanted to bear witness to anything that the devil would conjure.
Well, I think it was a no-show, Father.
There's a murder.
Really? A man is dead, Miss Collard. I'd say his work here today is done.
That wasn't going to help my story. Did you see anything that might help identify the killer?
The devil takes many forms, child. I didn't get a good enough look, I'm afraid.
Anything would help.
I'm sorry, my dear. My mind was elsewhere.
He had a motorcycle helmet on, no one could see his face.
What do you know about Henri?
An innocent victim, insofar as any of us are innocent. If he was peddling such blasphemous works as the El Serp painting, then who knows what other sins he was hiding.
Father Simeon was making me feel guilty. Priests always did that to me. What do you think about that stain?
Is that blood?
I think it's just sauce. I wonder if there's a mop anywhere.
We are facing death and divine retribution. This is no time for tidying up.
Father Simeon wasn't making much sense.
Cleanliness is next to godliness, Father.
What can you tell me about the painting?
Grotesque and evil.
How can a painting be evil?
Read the painting of Dorian Gray sometime.
Come into contact with it.
Does that mean we're next?
Watch Ghostbusters 2 sometime.
Miss Collard.
This is my press card. As I said, I work for La Liberté.
Good. Be sure to warn your readers that this painting is evil.
Thank you for your time, Father.
How can the painting be evil? Go to the painting. I am Vigo the Carpathian, scourge of Carpathia, terror of Moldavia.
He didn't die from old age either. He was hung, stabbed, poisoned, hung, drawn, and quartered.
Yep.
Ouch. Something. Time is but a window. I'll be back.
Are you Mr. Lane, the art critic?
Enchanté, madame. And which of the angels are you?
Oh, fuck off,
I'm
mate.
Nico Collard, a reporter.
Ah, a fallen angel then. My favorite sort.
Who the fuck is this? Like, that's just a freaking pirate. I don't understand.
We don't know who the guy is yet, do we?
True, so it's just a picture of a fucking thief from a 1930s cartoon.
An unknown work that only recently surfaced.
Who was the artist?
A mysterious figure known only as El Serp. Some say he was a student of Picasso. He was good, but not great, and his true identity remains unknown.
Just like Jack the Ripper. Maybe it was Jack the Ripper. That'd be an interesting crossover.
What can you tell me
It
about
was painted in
Serpent?
1937. It's highly
It was
unlikely.
truly awful. What he want to know?
Maybe there's been more than one Jack the Ripper.
Have you spoken to Georges?
The
Well, I had
American.
this discussion with someone
Yes.
who said that Jack the
He
Ripper
promised
was
to clear up any
the Zodiac killer
misunderstandings
and
the police
another
might
killer.
have
I was
about
like,
my
well,
presence
no,
here.
because the Zodiac killer was 100 years
Like,
after.
that's
Jack
one of
Ripper.
those things that, like, if you're writing a freaking supernatural horror novel, sure, this Jack the Ripper's the Zodiac killer, if you're working in the realms of the supernatural, but otherwise, nah.
Well, obviously, when I said it, like they were like, "Well, obviously, like it's not." I was not being serious, so I misunderstood what they meant. But it's like, well, then why did you say it then? If you know that it's a silly thing to say, why did you even suggest that the Zodiac and Jack was the same person? I mean, there's people say that Jack the Ripper was actually Jill the Ripper, but there's no proof of that. There are hundreds of suspects of Jack the Ripper. No one can definitely say who he was.
And that's why he is one of the technically most successful serial killers of all time.
Father
And he was
Simeon
one of the
says
first.
that the painting is evil.
Spring Hill Jack came first.
Which is why I get very angry
Romantic
when I
seal is
saw
a painting
American
on the
Ripper.
painting
And it was
of
this
the
descendant of H.H. Holmes, who was
What
a
can you
serial
tell me
killer
about
in
O'Neill's
Chicago,
involvement with
who
the
said,
gallery?
"Oh, my grandfather was Jack the Ripper." I was like, why are you taking credit for something that happened in London?
Modern art business. He owned the gallery. What will we do without him?
Your grandfather was not Jack the Ripper, and H.H. Holmes was suggested to be a suspect, but there's no absolute proof. In fact, one of the most primary suspects was a man called Kosvinsky, and he was a Jewish immigrant who lived in Whitechapel, and it was someone who had knowledge of Whitechapel. There's no way it was Holmes. He was a person from America. Whitechapel was not his main home. It was someone who had lived there for a long time.
Tell me about the shooting, monsieur.
Oh, it all happened so fast.
Take your time. What did you see?
I can't be sure. Perhaps I could answer your questions over dinner.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I'm on a tight deadline. Did you see the thief?
I would have tackled him, but he was too quick for me.
You fainted.
You liar, you fainted.
Did you know that the alarm had been sabotaged?
No. How dreadful.
Yes, you
Right.
did.
I suppose that's why the alarm isn't ringing.
You did it.
Here's my press card.
And there was I thinking you were too young and beautiful to be a reporter.
Thanks for your help, Monsieur Lane. I wasn't going to get anything useful from Lane.
Well, no, he's a fucking art snob. What do you expect?
How about that for a distraction? I wondered whether it would be enough. The tomato sauce looked as close to blood as it was ever going to.
You're struggling to get out again.
Yeah. There we go.
Inspector Nave, do you have a moment?
A moment. Well, now, let me think.
My time is of the essence. Be quick now.
I suppose this is quite a complex case, Inspector.
It is a robbery gone bad. Nothing more, nothing less.
Surely there's a bit more to it than that.
Please abstain from baseless conjecture, madame. The victim's body paints a simple picture, more reliable than any witness statement. Consider the impact of the bullet, and note the concomitant lack of blood. A casual homicide, nothing more.
Do you want this chewing gum?
Madame, I do not take bribes.
Sir, if I wanted to bribe you, I'd offer you slightly more than a used piece of chewing gum.
Don't you find it odd that the thief chose that one particular painting?
Life is full of odd things, madame. Fingerless gloves, white dog poo-poo, nasal hair. I prefer to concern myself with murder.
Did you see the alarm was sabotaged?
I have interrogated the crime scene, madame. I am fully aware of the disabled security.
You interrogated the crime scene.
Are you aware of that, or is it just because we just told you that?
Important things.
Don't you think the disabled alarm is highly suspicious, though?
The forensic team will be along shortly. Voice your concerns to them. Do not bother me with this circumstantial fliff-flaff.
I'm just baffled by, I investigated the crime scene. I interrogated the crime scene. I went up to the crime scene and said, where were you at the time of the murder?
I don't like this guy, but I have a feeling that you probably will kind of think he's okay.
Why don't you check out the security camera footage?
Madame, that is not my area of expertise. It is the body which concerns me.
But the CCTV
You're an inspector.
footage is evidence.
Everything
It could
should
help
concern you.
identify the killer.
Correction, madame. It is but an indicator. The only true evidence is bodily fluid.
You're an idiot.
Unless you know something I don't, then please leave me be.
The only evidence Inspector Nave seemed to appreciate involved gore.
I know something you don't, Neve.
Thanks,
No,
Inspector.
you're a fucking incompetent buffoon.
You have to continue to talk to him.
And I want to talk to George instead.
Okay.
Josh,
Yeah, no.
so why do you need to get into the office again?
I'm pretty sure the robbery was an inside job, and I think the proof is in the office.
So, what's stopping you?
Super cop over there.
What if I create a distraction?
You do that, and I will let you have whatever I find.
That's a deal, Josh. Somehow, I had to get the inspector away from the office door.
Okay, so there's not really anything we could say to him.
Hey, Josh, look at my press card.
I see Ronnie hasn't fired you yet.
Not for want of trying. It was the
We don't know
alarm
it was
that
Ronnie in
that
the
had
third
been
game. It
stolen.
could have been someone different.
True.
Even though that doesn't make sense because it was Ronnie in the
First game.
first game. Or director's cut, at least.
I think it was Ronnie in the first game, too. No, wait, we didn't have an editor. It was just the editor in the first game. Or because we didn't have the Nico scenes where she's talking to Ronnie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in the director's cut, you have Ronnie.
Yeah.
Which makes the director's cut the more
Inspector,
definitive game.
Except that it has a lot less in it of character.
Yeah. Hopefully the Reforge will...
Yes?
I want a happy medium of having all this, all the interact with everything stuff from the first game, but the new puzzles and the Nico stuff from the director's cut. I'd like a happy medium.
I think it's just gonna... I think from what I've heard, it's gonna be the original game.
Yeah.
do you really think this is a cut and dried case?
En effet, cut, dried, sealed, and delivered.
Do you know anything about La Maledictio?
It is a painting. It was stolen. Point?
Are you certain you don't want to investigate the alarm?
Unless you can show me new evidence, then please leave me to my work.
How about you do your fucking job,
So
Inspector?
you don't think the CCTV footage is useful?
I prefer a more visceral approach to the crime scene.
Okay. Inspector Rosso was a Templar spy who thought he was a fucking psychic, who is intentionally doing the case badly because he was a Templar agent. And he's better than this guy.
What do you think about the American, Georges?
He is deeply suspicious.
Well, yeah, he has committed untold acts of crime. He's one of the most infamous criminals in the world. Do you know he once killed a dragon with Excalibur?
Have you seen the stain on the floor over there? It looks like blood.
Indeed. How very curious. I must investigate immediately, before one of these idiots steps in it. Interesting. Maybe it is time to employ the machine.
The machine.
Okay, Georges, that should distract him for a while.
Nice work, Nico. I'll let you know what you find in the office.
Like, he pulls out the freaking detective vision from Arkham Knight.
I was sure the
Well, from Arkham Asylum.
would slip away, but I needed to be quick because it wouldn't take long.
What the fuck? Oh, this is great.
I didn't imagine Henri as
It's a
musician.
real hippie office.
This reminds me of my friend's parents' house when I was a kid.
The frame containing pressed flowers. Henri sure liked this clutter. It was a pretty flamboyant-looking clock.
You're a pretty flamboyant-looking clock.
The poster advertised a
You're going to be
1975
shocked at what
Stockholm
actually we have to do in this
festival
room.
Is it a puzzle?
by a group called
Yeah, it is a puzzle. Yeah.
The hairy lobsters.
A pair of evil eyes stared from a partially covered poster.
Oh, hey! It's the smoking mirror!
Oh, yeah.
Nice!
I never noticed that before. Well spotted, mate.
It was a hookah pipe. Those things gave me a headache.
At least it
Henri
made,
sure had his quirks.
at least it made more sense than the fucking, brain. Why are you not working? The 1 in 2.5.
There was a waste paper on the floor, by the way.
I know, I'm looking at everything before I start picking shit
Oh,
up.
okay. I thought you missed it. I
The
thought you might.
telephone was an antique rotary model. The handset looked greasy.
Ew.
Ew.
Must be patchouli oil.
The calendar looked like a child's school project. Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday. Poor guy hadn't quite made it to his big day.
It's not long away from my birthday.
It was hard to tell if the lava lamp was retro or just plain old. The trinkets, the junk, the instruments. Henri was kind of a hippie at heart. Henri's notice board was covered with all kinds of junk. The woman in the picture looked vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it's the woman who the guy was married to in Broken Sword 2.
The sofa had
I can't
clearly
tell
taken
from this
some
angle.
treatment over the years.
Oh, who else? That's the only blonde woman we know aside from Imelda and Petra.
A naked lady stared at me seductively. Henri may have been a hippie, but a hippie with plenty of disposable income.
I can't imagine a naked lady would ever look at you seductively, George.
If Henri was a guitarist, then I'd underestimated him. In the trash can, I found a crumpled letter from Henri's credit card company demanding immediate payment. It listed extravagant purchases from a variety of ladies' fashion stores. The address indicated that Henri lived in the chic and expensive 16th arrondissement of Paris. I decided to put the letter back. Henri's financial problems weren't my business. But now I knew where he lived.
Interesting.
The statue was jaunty. Up close and personal, I could see that the fig leaf was hinged. It was a statue of Henri bearing almost everything. A strategically placed fig leaf protected his modesty.
Thankfully, there was no one around to see me do this.
Except for us and everyone watching. Ooh!
Interesting.
Hello.
I wasn't going to open the safe without the key.
Oh, good. Yes,
Sure that
yes.
Henri wouldn't be silly enough to keep it hidden in the office.
Oh, George, you're in Broken Sword. It's in the office.
Right in thinking, I think it. Oh, it might be later on, but I think there's something to do with the sofa. Like either now or later on. I'm pretty sure. It probably is later on, to be honest.
I didn't need a business card. I didn't like the idea of a pocket full of sharp pins.
Have a pocket full of sharp pins. Come on.
The pen could have been useful. Then again, it might have leaked all over my pocket.
You're no fun, George.
You once had a dead fish in your pocket that was probably soaking wet.
You once had a
and you're
sewer
worrying
key.
about and a sewer key.
Carrying an ink pot around inside my pocket would have been stupid. The ink would have stained my hands for days.
Again, you had a soggy
I didn't
tissue
feel
in the
the need
first
to
game.
take Henri's eraser. I didn't want to
That
carry
is
the
the
tape
biggest
around.
trouble I've
I had
ever
a
seen in
feeling
my
I
life.
wasn't going to need it. It was the paper that Nico wrote for. Nico lived for the day her story would be on the front cover. There was nothing else in the drawer.
Hairy lobsters.
The folder looked interesting. This was very definitely tampering with evidence.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's your point, George?
He is his company did the security or did the insurance, so he has every right to investigate.
Yep.
It was a completion of work notice from a company called Vera Security. They weren't the guys we'd recommended. Henri had gone behind our backs to choose a different security outfit.
We don't have to pay out now.
Vera Security, but there was an address and phone number on the form.
Hello, Vera Security?
George Stobart here, Paris Mutual.
Never heard of you.
Really? Well, I'm surprised. We're leaders in our field in commercial insurance, and our brand recognition is...
Do me a favor. Don't call back.
The lady hung up. I was going to have to visit in person.
That's so late.
The
Okay.
drawer is closed. The drawer is closed of the safe.
Yes,
Didn't
it's
you notice that?
we're haunted, obviously. Look, there was a cursed painting that was stolen. This place is haunted. That's what
How
I'm
about
going.
how about the monitor?
I know. I want to call Rickenbacker first.
Okay.
We have info for him.
Mr. Rickenbacker? I found a piece of paper that shows Henri went against my recommendations for security.
And?
I guess I'm just wondering why.
Well, you're on the case, Stobart. Just find out where that painting's gone.
Okay, that didn't get us anywhere.
The CCTV
He's here
system
in a
was
minute.
ancient.
Just a purring
It took
next to
individual
the
shots
mic.
and recorded them
That's
to
my
tape.
cat.
It
that
looked
she's
like
on
I
just
needed to
laying
enter
on
a
my
passcode
chest
to
right
view
now.
the recording.
So apologies about that.
Passcode.
Nope, I needed to try something else.
The passcode's not in the frickin' documentation? That's ridiculous.
The completion note from Vera Security. There was an address.
Address. Okay, I guess we gotta find the frickin' code.
Yeah, I'm not sure. where the code. I know we have to look at the monitor, but I don't remember the code.
I had no reason to search the desk again.
Oh, duh! Obviously, I think I know the answer. Oh, okay.
And there I was, thinking that Henri might have set such an obvious code. No such luck.
So we know it's in this room somewhere.
Birthday May 27th. Birthday May 27th.
Oh, there you go.
I
Ha!
rewound the tape to before the robbery. This was the first interesting frame. It was Henri studying La Malédiction. He couldn't have had any idea what was about to happen.
You have
Was
to
Henri
move it
studying
on
that picture,
in the
or did he look
buttons on
worried?
the bottom.
I know, but I gotta
There was
investigate
definitely
everything.
more to this robbery than
Oh,
I
yeah,
first
yeah,
thought.
Because remember, even if we figured something out, doesn't mean George knows it.
The image was a little
True.
fuzzy, but in the center of the painting was what looked like a snake eating its own tail.
Where have you seen that
I thought
before?
about what the priest said. There was definitely something unsettling about the picture.
I mean, the Ouroboros, obviously, but also the cover of the game has the Ouroboros.
Nico and I were taking a look at La Malédiction just before the robbery. Funny, the painting didn't strike me as remarkable at the time, just odd. It seemed that whenever Nico stepped back into my life, so did Trouble.
Trouble stepped back into your life before Nico did in Broken Sword 4, George.
There I was, looking at the exhibition. The most striking aspect of the painting was a snake eating its own tail. A good view of La Malédiction. I could kind of see why Father Simeon thought it was evil. There was a certain presence about it. The most striking... The killer caught in the act. There was nothing really distinctive about him.
Well, the helmet's distinctive, but also keeps him from being identified.
The CCTV had caught the killer in the act of lifting La Malédiction from the wall. He knew exactly which painting to take. The moment it all went horribly wrong. Why hadn't Henri backed down when the thief pulled the gun? If that was me, I'd have done whatever the guy wanted.
Yeah, die like a dog, Stobart.
There was some writing on the front of his helmet, but I couldn't quite make it out.
Surely, does this have a zoom or something?
The alarm should have sounded when the killer took the painting, but it had been sabotaged. I wondered who could have done that. Maybe Lane, or even Henri himself. Or perhaps even Vera Security, who'd installed the system. The most striking aspect of the painting. The killer making his getaway.
Okay.
A logo on the front of his helmet read Waterloo Motors. That could be useful. A logo on the...
Now, if you're going to wear a motorcycle helmet for your as a mask for a robbery, paint it like cover a fucking marking like this.
Or
Come
wear
on.
an unbranded one.
Yeah, wear an umbrella, or just wear like a one that looks has something painted on, not something that has like a distinguishing lead right back here. At least not branded with the shop name.
Mm-hmm.
So if it says Yamaha, fine, whatever. But that's not that easy to track. But
The painting was gone. There I was, taking a look at the alarm box. Hopefully I didn't look too suspicious.
you do.
That was me fiddling with the alarm. I hadn't thought about that when I was taking a look at the camera. Not my best angle. That was the last shot. I'd probably learned everything I could from the CCTV. That was the most recent image.
I think that's it.
Monsieur, sir, you have snuck in here, and now you are tampering with my evidence.
We have a choice. What do you think we should do?
I think we should be honest.
I wasn't tampering with anything. I was just looking for clues.
That is my job, Monsieur... Monsieur...
Stobart. George Stobart. Paris Mutual. We insured the exhibition.
Oh, really? So, you have plenty to gain from the robbery.
No. We have plenty to lose from the robbery.
Don't patronize me, monsieur. Only a fool wouldn't know how insurance works.
Yeah. No flies on you, Inspector.
Exactly. I have to get up very early in the morning, which means I can be sure to catch the worm.
So I see.
May I remind you, monsieur, that a serious crime has been committed. I am going to have to ask you to return to the gallery.
Of course. But I do need to ask you a few questions.
D'accord. But remember, anything you say can be used against you, Monsieur Stobart.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
Question 1. Why are you an idiot?
Question 2. Why are you saying about what we can use will be used against us when you have no suspect yet?
And you haven't read us any of our Miranda rights. You are not interested in evidence that is not blood. And you don't know how insurance works.
Do you know anything about a company called Vera Security?
No, I have never heard of them. Now, I must get on with my investigation.
It's very likely that the security camera holds a clue to the killer's identity.
Monsieur, I am a professional, and you are an amateur. So, leave the investigating to me, huh, pal? Monsieur, you are American, no?
Yeah, California born and bred.
Of course. I think perhaps you are wanting to be like that Starsky and Butch, monsieur. No? Rolling around on top of fast cars with beautiful ladies, firing your gun.
Interesting idea, Inspector, but not really my style.
Indeed. Well, let me tell you something, monsieur. You are my prime suspect. You may go now, but I will need to speak with you again.
You don't tell your prime suspect they're the prime suspect, dumbass.
I had some valuable leads. But before following up on them, I had important business to attend to. Hey, Nico, you want to grab a quick cup of coffee?
Sure.
I am pleased to announce that I have finished my preliminary investigation. This is now an official crime scene, and you must all go. I shall be questioning all of you again in the coming days. Nobody is to leave the country, particularly you, Monsieur Stobart. Monsieur Lane will stay behind to help secure the premises. Moue?
Yes, Inspector.
Let them out.
Right away, sir.
So does that please you that he suspects George?
Yes, it also doesn't surprise me.
2 coffees, please.
Nice work in there, Nico. Whatever you did, it worked.
I just made a tiny distraction, and Nave bought it.
I think Nave would buy anything if it had blood on it.
Okay, George, how are you gonna... What the hell is wrong with this guy's butt?
You know, this whole setup, the theft, the murder, it just doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
They have goat cheese for sale.
Like I said, I think it was an inside job.
For €7 and 77 cents. Interesting.
Someone disabled the alarm, but on just one painting.
Let me guess. La Maledictio.
Exactly. And I aim to find out who did it. The CCTV picked up an image of the thief. His helmet had the words Waterloo Motors written across it.
Interesting. I think I got a couple of good shots of him too, but I need to take a better look at them at home.
Great. Let me know what you find.
It always comes back to a cafe in France, doesn't it?
Yep.
Well, the priest thinks La Maledictio is evil.
Charles, she's just crazy.
Yeah, you're probably right. But there's something strange going on. I found the address of the security company Henri employed. It was not the one that I recommended.
Good luck with your investigations. Well, I guess I should go. This story won't write itself. And Josh?
Yeah?
It's good to see you again.
Great to see you too, Nico. I watched her walk away. The sound of traffic, the sun shining, a crime to solve, and Nico back in my life.
But that is all the time we have for it now. I've been Merrick D'Amato.
And I've been Classic Gamer.
And the map seems to have opened up for us to start investigating shit. So, see you next time.
See you next time.
Hi. Thanks for watching. This has been played, edited, and recorded by me, Merrick D'Amato.
And he's been helped by me, Classic Gamer.
You can find a link to Classic's YouTube channel, Classics Gamer, and his Twitch in the description below. Please like, comment, and subscribe.